welcome back to the channel, guys. Farm Sim Snowy here. So we've got more mods again today, so let's jump straight into it. First up today then is this is the CLAAS Lexion 8000. This is by SBFarms. It is a harvester, so obviously you'll find this under vehicles and harvesters. Now we do have a base game Lexion 8900. So it's pretty similar to this, but this one does give you a few extra options. So the base game one is fixed at 780 horsepower. This one we can change, and also the base game one has fixed tracks on the front wheels, whereas this one we can change up as well. Apart from that, the grain tank capacity is the same, and I think the slot count is the same as well. So anyway, this is 489,500 base price. Like I say, we can change up the horsepower, which we'll have a look at in a second. It's got a top speed of 24 miles per hour, 18,000 litre capacity grain tank, and it's 15 slots on console. So there you go, that is what it looks like. So in that configuration, it starts off with twin wheels at the front instead of the tracks. So we can change the wheel brand from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, and back to Trelleborg. In Trelleborg, got twin wheels, standard. So basically that's saying the standard, what the base game one is. That's what that looks like. And then we go back to, wide tyres, which changes the rear tyre. If you look at the rear tyre, so we got a wide tyre there, and then it will go back to twin wheels like so. It's pretty similar across the board. So Michelin, we've got twin wheels, standard, wide tyre at the back, and then back to twin wheels. Continental, twin wheels, standard, wide tyre, and then back to twin wheels, and then we're on Trelleborg again. Design, we can have it in the EU configuration, which is going to have all these warning squares on that you can see around the back. Even on the pipe, if we click to US, it gets rid of all of those. Apart from that, I can't see what else it adds on for US, apart from the sort of little lights there above the wheels, the front wheels. Apart from that, that is it, I think, as far as I can tell. Fleet number, at the minute we've got no, so you can number them up if you've got a huge operation going on. And we can go from 1, it puts it on the side there, both sides, and we can go right up to 5, and then back to no. Engine setup, so like I say, we're on the 8800, which is 653 horsepower, and then we can go to the 8900, which is 780 horsepower, which is what the base game one is, and that is it. You can only change it up, those two, and we can have a license plate on there if we wish to. So that's the first one today. That's the CLAAS Lexion 8000 by SBFarms. Next up, we've got another CLAAS. This is the Xerion 3000 series. This is by Smety. 330,200 base price. Change the horsepower up. It's got a top speed of 34 miles per hour. It's 10 slots on console. I do like this tractor. I had this on my No Man's Land series on FS19, and it was awesome. So that is it. It's a very cool looking tractor. I like that. Configuration, we've got standard. If I go around the back there, if you look on the top, we can have weight, so it puts those extra weights on the back, and then back to standard. Now if you do go for the weight option, you lose this. If you look halfway down that list, you lose this track option. So if we go on weight, that disappears. We'll come down to that in a second. Wheel brand, we've got Trelleborg, Michelin, Mitas, Nokians, and back to Trelleborg. They're pretty much all the same, I think, apart from Trelleborg, which does have the narrow options. So we've got the R38s on Trelleborgs. We've got the R38 Air, which puts those hoses and then goes down into the wheels themselves. We've got the R42s, wide tyres, twin wheels, and like I say, narrows on the Trelleborgs, narrow twin wheels, and then we're back to the R38s. So in Michelin we've got the R38s, the Air ones, the 42s, wide tyres, twin wheels, and back to those. It's going to be the same in Mitas as well. So Trelleborg's the only one with narrow tyres. Nokians you can't change at all. And then we're back to Trelleborg. So track, at the minute we are on track. If we go track VC, it adds that right behind the cab there. Like so. So it's either with or without that. Not 100% sure what that does. I'm sure hopefully someone will tell me. Attachers, we've got 1800 kilogram front weight, 2200 kilogram front weight, 2600, a 3-point, and then back to the 18. Side sign we've got none. EU, which puts those warning squares on, and then back to none, so it's just those. And then the engine setup, we've got the 3300, which is 335 horsepower. And then we've got 3800, which is 379. I think it's just those two, yeah. Main colour, we can change from green to black to white to orange to red. I quite like that red actually on the... And the blue. Design colour, can change that from chrome grid that and a black grid. That is going to do the sort of protection cover there on the exhaust. So if I go back to chrome grid, we've got black grid, and then we've got green, so that is going to do that. And then the rim colour, pretty self-explanatory. We've got red, white, grey, black, and chrome part. And then we can have a license plate on there as well if we want to. So there you go, that's the CLAAS Xerion 3000 series by Smety. And then we've got this, which is come over from FS19. We had that on there. This is Lizard Continental. This is by Vectorman. This you'll find under vehicles and cars. It's 35,000 base price. We can change the horsepower up. It's got a top speed of 80 miles per hour. It's 6 slots on console, and it does have a very funky horn. That menu is playing up. There we go. So front attachment, at the minute we're on standard. We can go bumper, so it adds that bumper on the front, and back to standard. Interior decoration, if you look at the dash in the middle, got standard. We've got the lizard statue, FS hat, a fan to keep you cool in the summer nights, and then back to standard like so. Attachers is going to be at the rear, so we've got standard. We can add a trailer hitch, and then back to standard. And then engine setup, we're on the Continental, which is 200 horsepower. We can go for a turbo, which is 300 horsepower, and it's just those two. Main colour, we can change to anything on there as you wish, and we can have a license plate as well. None of the doors open or anything like that, no animations, but it does have a nice horn. So that is Lizard Continental by Vectorman. Next up we've got this, which is Phoenix ITRunner Edition. This is by erShaba VSR Modding Sir. This you'll find under vehicles and trucks. It's 88,000 base price. We can change the horsepower up. Got top speed of 43 miles per hour, and it is 8 slots if you're on console. So we've got a few configurations, and obviously this is going to be like a hook pickup. So if you've got a roll-on, roll-off container, you can load and unload with this guy. Any of the ITRunner stuff, like skips and that, you put all your grains and whatnot in there, like so. It does have beacons and everything like that. But we have configuration, at the minute we're on standard. Then we can go trailer hitch. So that is going to put the trailer hitch on the back like so. So it's either standard or trailer hitch. Engine setup, we've got the 460, which is 462 horsepower. The 640, which is 640 horsepower. And the 1100, which is 1130 horsepower. So 1130 horsepower. So quite hefty that is. And then we're back to the 462. Main colour is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to do your cab and the body. Design colour is going to be, let's do something a bit random. These sort of steps there, tiny little bit there on that step, and a little bit at the front there as well. So that's going to change that. And then your design colour is going to do, let's change it to that. The little hook there and the rams and that little bit there at the back and the rear. And then rim colour, that's pretty obvious. Anything on there, whatever you wish, like so. No license plate option, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. So that is Phoenix ITRunner edition by erShaba VSR Modding Sir. Next we've got John Deere 2730 Plow by J.AModding. This you'll find under tools and plows. It is 58,000 to buy. It requires 410 horsepower, so quite high on the horsepower there. 11 slots on console. It is 7.9 meters wide, and it will run at 7 miles per hour when you are using it. So there it is. There's no configurations. It is what it is, but obviously it unfolds out and it will plow. You can create fields with this as well, but it will plow through, and then you do have the roller cage on the back, so as you go over the plow bits it will cultivate it as well. So by the end, once you've finished, you will have a cultivated state, which is pretty cool. So you can create fields with this. I have tested it. Very cool looking bit of kit though. So there you go, that's the John Deere 2730 Plow by J.AModding. Next up we've got these, which is the, I don't know if it's Robert or Robert. If it's French it could be Robert. DBS Pack. This is by Plow 5090R. And this is actually under tools and grassland care because it is for your grass fields. They look a little bit like weeders, but I have tested them out. We'll have a look at them all and then I'll tell you a little bit more info which I found out in my little testing. So first of all we've got the DBS 960, that's 13,900 to buy. It requires 140 horsepower, it's 10 slots, it's 9.6 meters wide, and it'll run at 7 miles per hour. I don't think there's any configurations on this one, it is what it is. So as you can see it does look very much like a weeder type thing. It does have warning signals, it's got lights on there, it's got beacons on there. It's very cool, nicely detailed with all the logos on and stickers and the hoses. So there's that first one. Then we've got the DBS 720 Eco, which is 13,700 to buy. That requires 150 horsepower, 8 slots on console, 7.2 meters wide, and runs at 7 miles per hour. This does have one configuration, so at design it says without options. If you go with signaling, it puts those warning markers and lights like the other one had on the back, and then you can have without as well if you like. And then we have the DBS 720 Plus, which is 17,700 to buy. This requires 150 horsepower, 9 slots, 7.2 meters wide, and it will run at 7 miles per hour. So it's slightly different looking to the other one, but as far as I can tell they all do exactly the same job. What I would suggest if you are interested in these is go onto the description in the mod hub, because there is quite a long piece of writing on there, and it does sort of tell you about some of them as you go down. So say like this one we're looking at now, this says usefulness in play, and then it says fertilizing meadows, but basically they all say in some sort of way. One says meadow fertilization, one says grassland fertilization. So basically it is for fertilizing your grass fields. So again, we've got design without options or the signaling. I think it's just if you want a different style and a look. I can't see that they do anything different. But basically what you need to do is, once you've mowed your grass or cut your grass, you will run over with one of these and it will give you your fertilizing state. So it will give you your second fertilizing state and it will get you back up. Now if you run over your grass field with this and the grass is slightly grown or fully grown, this will return it to its first growth stage. So be very careful. You will get the fertilizing state as well, but you will lose your grass if you go over it like that, because I tested that as well. So you're better off cutting your grass and then run on over this with this rather. So that's the Robert DBS Pack by Plow 5090R. Next is the Kverneland Hay Fork. This is by j.AModding company. This you'll find under tools and miscellaneous, and it is a hay fork. It will pick up other things as well. It's only 300 to buy. Pretty cool looking thing, like vintage, older looking bit of equipment. If you've got a small farm, it's going to be ideal. It's got a 2,000 litre capacity. It's 2 slots on console, and you can pick up grass, hay, manure, silage, chaff or straw with this. So you can hook up to either the rear or front of your tractor, depending on whether you've got a 3-point hitch on the front. And you can obviously scoop up the top 2 bars there that looks like sort of snake fangs. They will raise and lower, so you can sort of open and close them and then scoop up your items. All we can do is change the main colour from Kverneland red to the green, and the same with the design colour. So you could go all green or a bit of both, like so. So pretty straightforward. That's the Cavernland Hay Fork by j.AModding company. And then we've got these, which is 120 tree saplings. This is by MichalLS 3,500 to buy. It's 7 slots on console, and like it says, it has got 120 tree saplings in there. The base game one is only 20, and I think that's 1,000 to buy. So this will go into the base game planter, and we can change it up as well. And what I like is it's written on the pallet as well there, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, it looks a lot more stacked out than the base game one. So we've got spruce 1, 2, pine, stone pine, birch, oak, willow, maple, pagoda dogwood, shagbark hickory, American elm, cypress, downy serviceberry, and then we're back to the spruce. It's pretty cool. At least you can plant a lot more trees than having to keep loading up with the 20 pallet one. So there you go, that's 120 tree saplings by MichalLS 921. And moving on to the placeables for today, and starting off with these 3 here. This is Water Fountains Pack by Puma 145. It's obviously some water points that you can place down and get your water from. It will charge you for the water. So the first one there on the left, that is 3 slots. This one was 4, and the well there was 2 slots if you're on console. So they're very cool, nicely detailed. They have got running water in there with sound effects. And I do like this well as well, that's very cool. Nicely detailed with the brickwork and stone. Very cool. So these you'll find under your build mode, and they will be under buildings, and I think there was container. Yeah, so there they are. So it's showing one slot because obviously we've got some put down. So the first two are 500 to buy, these chaps, and the well is 1,000 to buy. So very nicely indeed. So that's Water Fountains Pack by Puma, a 145. And then we've got another water source. This is Well by MichalLS. This is 3 slots if you're on console. Again, it's for filling up your water tankers. It will charge you again to do that. It's basically just a well hole in the ground with a little hose pipe hanging out. Again, this you'll find in your build mode. This will be under containers as well. It's there. It's 2,000 to buy. Like I say, 3 slots on console. And it's, yeah, 2,000. I just said that, haven't I? 2,000 to buy. So there you go. That is Well by MichalLS. And then lastly, look at all this. I think I've got all of them out in front of me. This is a Decorative Details Pack by TrianglesTrouble. There is 45 objects in here. They're all from the base game maps that they've brought over, it says, and it also says in the description that future extensions will follow. So they're basically going to add more into this. Now, as you can imagine, they've all got varying prices and varying slot counts, but they do range the slot counts from 1 up to 4, I think I spotted, but there's only a couple of 4s in there. Most of them are just 1 and 2 slots, but there is a ton of things in here, and you will recognise a lot of these from just playing on the base game maps. This fella's quite everywhere. We've got the loo, salt bags, is that, or cement. We've got the billboards. There's just a ton of things and stuff in here. An old sink, pallets, bit of junk, scrap metal, wood, children's play area, a skip, shelving, workbench, stacks of wood, water tank. We've even got stones or rocks, whatever that is, an old tyre, a ladder, saw bench. You get the drift. Little generator. There's loads in this pack, so you can really decorate your farm and whatnot like that. This you'll find also in your build mode, and this will be under decoration, and it will be under others. And let's go back to the start. So if you haven't got anything else installed, you'll have all these base game sort of sheds, and then we move on. The first one's the barrels. So as you can see, 20 for the barrels, 90. It just varies. Not too expensive though. And obviously they're going to show 1 slot because we've got some down. Like so. There is loads of them. What I did find is you can place them quite near each other without getting the sort of symbol coming up. So you can get quite close, like so, right next to it. So it's pretty cool. So there you go. Loads to choose from. That is the Decorative Details Pack by TrianglesTrouble. And that should be it for today. So I hope you have all enjoyed the review. If you have, please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.